throughout Guyana, we want to wish you best of luck. Go to the 60th. All your fans all throughout Guyana, we want to wish you best of luck. Go Warriors!